What's going on, Celtics fans? Welcome into Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Allie, Barefoot, and thankfully, I put on our community page on YouTube, Ask Me Your Questions, and we had a ton of responses because, let's be honest, there's so much to talk about when your team is the best in the NBA. So I'll be answering your questions surrounding the Boston Celtics starters, bench, and how can they win Banner 19 already. And if you guys want to keep having conversations with me, go on ahead and follow me on X at AR Barefoot. I post the latest Celtics news. I love using Celtics memes / GIFs, not GIFs. GIFs, and I post Celtics highlights, especially when Payton Pritchard drains another one from downtown when you just think, how can he make any more? And you guys can get a shout out on our next live show. So if you guys do all those things, go on ahead, follow me on Twitter, and we can keep this bus rolling. Let's go on ahead and start off here with our first question coming in from Judy Boy Vlogs. Do you think the Celtics will trade this season, and who do you think they will trade? I'll tell you who I don't think they're going to trade. None of the starters and none of the first 3 or 4 guys off the bench. I'm talking Hauser, Pritchard, Tillman, or Cornette. I do think if they're going to make a trade, and I actually do see this happening, they trade away Jaden Springer. Springer was a guy they picked up by the NBA trade deadline last February. Springer hasn't really found his footing in Boston, nor with the Philadelphia 76ers, but he is still a good guard and can be used primarily at that small forward position if you really wanted to. I think defense is his strong suit. Offense is not. And unfortunately for him, Joe Mazzulla loves offense almost as much as he loves defense. So I do see them trading away Jaden Springer, possibly not for player, but for a second-round draft pick and to cut $4 million off the payroll, which will go a long way for the Boston Celtics, who are well over that tax apron right now. So we do have another question coming in here. Doesn't have to do with any trades, but Aaron Smith saying, which player off the bench do you think will have the biggest impact this season? I'm just going to say what everybody's already thinking right now, and that is Payton Pritchard. Payton Pritchard is already having a hell of a season. We'll talk more about him in the back half of this show, but PP has elevated his game so much from the last 2 seasons. I'm going to be honest. When he came in and got the contract extension before the season even started last year, I'm like, all right, I think he's a little bit overpaid, to be honest, but, Brad Stevens is a lot smarter than me. PP has now completely transformed himself into a very elite two-way player that I think on any other NBA team, he could be a starter. And I'll stamp that. I don't care if you come at me about it. I have loved Payton Pritchard's game. I think that his ball handling skills are phenomenal. He can drain it from Steph Curry type of shots, and his defense is proving that he can go up even against the biggest of guys despite being a little bit of a smaller guard. So PP is my guy that I hopefully will see his name in the running for 6th Man of the Year this season. Coming in from Fortune 5, who is an active user on our live shows when we go live for Celtics basketball games. Fortune 5 saying #Celtics. Do you think the Celtics could beat the Warriors' 73-9 record? Let's think about it. We are, 7-1, 8-1 by the time I'm making this video right here. We know the Boston Celtics were a 60-plus win team last year. Before the season started, I had said their wins for the season was going to be at exactly 60. But has anybody checked the Eastern Conference standings recently? There are only 2 teams in the Eastern Conference standings that have a winning record right now, and it is the Celtics and the Cavaliers. That's insane to me. The Bucks are last right now in the Eastern Conference when I'm making this video. So if you're telling me I really don't have to worry about the East as much this season as I thought we did, and we only have to worry about the West, I don't know if we're going to get to 73-9 just because Kristaps Porzingis isn't coming back until the middle of the season. If he was healthy the entire year, I would say that would be our next goal, is get Banner 18 and then go and try to beat the Warriors record. But I'm not saying it's out of the question, but I don't know if we can do it without Porzingis. I think he's the last puzzle piece to really make this squad better than that 2017 Warriors squad. So my question here for you guys is, predict the Celtics' final 2024 record. How many wins, how many losses, knowing what you guys know now, with how crappy the Eastern Conference has started off, with how dominant the Boston Celtics have started, and with the Western Conference still being a force to be reckoned with on the other side of the NBA. Let me know in the comment section down down below. I've got a couple more questions to answer here for you guys, but first, let me tell you about our sponsor on Celtics Today. I'm talking about Prize Picks, baby, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. If you guys are looking to test your skills and win some money doing it, what are you waiting for? Prize Picks is the place you need to be. It's super easy to use. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. You can actually play in over 30 different states right now, including Cali, Texas, Georgia, and the beautiful state of Florida. So if you guys want to go on ahead and get started, it's super easy to do so. Not to mention, the #1 thing I love about Prize Picks is the promotions, baby. Every Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, they're going to give you a discounted projection off of player stats. Every Friday, win or your money back up to $20. And heck, sometimes they just dish out random promotions just for the fun of it. So if you guys want to go ahead and get started today, all you have to do is download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. This is going to get you guys $50 off your $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will get you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. I'll also comment it down below under this video. Prize Picks, run your game. Walter P. Flores saying this team knows how to score, but there's 3 things for them to win it again. I'm assuming he means the championship. 1, make less turnovers. 2, get many offensive rebounds. And 3, keep everyone healthy. So let's go bottom up here, right? Kristaps Porzingis is set to return here in sometime in December. We originally thought it was late January or late November, but now they're looking at that December range. So once KP can come back and the rest of the team can stay healthy, I think that is key. I do agree with you there. And also, I think one of Jason Tatum's best assets is not his offense or his defense. It's how he shows up. He has been available for majority of his career, knock on wood. And I think that is a huge pro to having Tatum on this team. Let's go back up there. Offensive rebounding. The last game that I do recall seeing that the team just really seemed to be dying down on offensive rebounds was the Atlanta Hawks win. Even though it was a blowout, it's second chance opportunities that have always just pissed me off. And you guys know that. I love when the Boston Celtics are able to take their shot and follow their shot. That's why I love Payton Pritchard and the way that he constantly follows his shot. I think offensive rebounding is a key to keep winning. I do agree. And then #1, make less turnovers. I'm fine with Tatum turning it over. I'm fine with Holiday turning it over, knowing they have the ball primarily the most, or a Derek White, but maybe not so much down low, maybe not so much from the bench. I do agree. The game against the Hawks, the turnovers were atrocious. So I do think the Celtics just play basketball the way they did last year, then yeah, they should absolutely win this year again. Nicholas Maharaj wants to talk a little bit more about PP, and I'm all for it. Do you think with Payton Pritchard's consistent performances so far, he could possibly force his way in the starting lineup, maybe by mid-season? Here's the beauty of having a guy like Payton Pritchard on your team. Here's the beauty of having the Boston Celtics roster in whole. No, I do not think Payton Pritchard is going to force his way into the starting lineup, but here's why. He doesn't want to. He has said he enjoys his role with the Celtics that he has right now. That could be a very humble response. I'm sure he wants more playing time, and I'm sure at any other team he would be a starter. I said that in the beginning of this video. But Payton Pritchard has a different role on the best team in the NBA that I think goes a little bit unnoticed if you're not a Celtics fan. And I think he can actually go for a very high award and a very, very hard award to win, and that's Sixth Man of the Year. So far, Payton Pritchard, through 8 games, 16 points per game. These are starter numbers right here, what he's putting up. 1.3 steals per game. Remember how I said he has just become an efficient two-way player? That's what I mean. 4 3-pointers made per game. This is some Steph Curry shit we're seeing right now. He's also shooting a whopping 43% from downtown. That's not easy to do. And especially not playing a full ball game the way that these starters are. PP comes in off the bench. He's leading all bench players in points and threes. And I think that's where he thrives. I think he could as a starter as well, but this is where he thrives as a bench player. And the Celtics need him to be a bench player. We have too many superstars on the team for somebody like Payton Pritchard for his ego to get too big the way it did 2 years ago when he was demanding a trade. Thank God Brad Stevens didn't listen to him because he found a really big role for the Celtics as a bench player, and I think that's where he thrives the most. So my question for you guys is, should Payton Pritchard have a bigger role? I'm going to go with no. I think the role that he has right now is perfect for Payton Pritchard's skill set. Now, if there were to be a trade later on in the season, later on in a couple of years, and we get rid of some of those superstars, yeah, I would like to keep PP around. But until then, I like him as a sixth man coming in that first rotation. As always, do one thing for me. Subscribe to the channel, but also follow me on Twitter if you guys want to keep talking about Celtics basketball. I am here for it, and I also cover the Patriots if you guys want to talk about that. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe.